Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's market breakdown on what we are looking for this week. And without further ado, let's jump into the economic calendar and then head right into the charts for some technical analysis breakdown. Looking at this week, we've got a heavy Friday. We're just going to have to bear in mind that Friday is a very busy day, and ideally, if we can get out of our trades before Friday, if we have some US dollar or pound pair trades, a lot of volatility due to happen. Breaking down the indexes on what we are looking for this week. Starting off with the DXY, what we're looking for is, as we've now had this low, we've had the retracement for the lower high, and we are looking to continue this leg all the way down, dropping down to a lower time frame. What I would like to see from here, as well sitting on the 4-hour 50 EMA, is a rejection and a nice break, I guess, below potentially this level here. So a break below, if we go down to an even lower time frame, like the 1 hour. So a break below this level here. If we get that break and the rejection from this 1 hour 50 as well, break below here by the morning, we could look to enter some US dollar shorts. Moving on to euro. So we did come into this area of interest here, touching the weekly 50 EMA. We did have a slight rejection of this area, but I can imagine we'd have some sort of further move again back into this region to then reject it and then potentially have a move to the upside from there. Going on to the lower time frame, we could expect to see a pullback into the averages, potentially around this area here. So a pullback, this EMA wrapping around to potentially take this one short. But I think if we wanted to short the US dollar this week, ultimately we want to get into some Euro USD longs. So what I would like to see actually is some Euro strength. So a break above this area here would be lovely. So if we can get a move like this above the 4-hour 50 and then continue it up, would be great. Yen is looking like it's starting to have a breakout move, potentially into the higher averages. We had some sort of double bottom here, broke above the daily 50 EMA, rejecting it, and I think we may see a drive into potentially into the trend line here. If we go to a higher time frame, you can see the descending trend line and how far it runs. So you can of course see we've started off the descending trend line there. We've rejected it quite a few times on a few occasions. So we could see some sort of run into that descending trend line. I guess if we were to draw another trend line, say here, we could see even a move into this area, which could potentially be more of a probable outcome. So the two levels I think we can look out for is this highlighted area here. So where we had levels of support and resistance, we could use this again as resistance, or depending how high and how fast we go, to potentially meet this area here. I wouldn't be looking for any yen buys as of yet. I think once we get a clearer break on the daily and then have the retest of this daily 50, then we could look for some entry. So a cleaner break above, coming back round to retest to potentially have a drive up into this area. So the pound, we are in this range, which seems to be a range which we are stuck in. So once we come into it, and this has been going on for ultimately a year, we've been in this range. So we have a move up, we wick out of it, we have a drive down, and then basically just playing ping pong with this range. So we come out, come back in, out, down, out, and then now we are having a move down. What we could look for this week is, on a lower time frame, a move into this 4-hour 50 EMA at this area of interest here to take it short, potentially to the edge of this range. The Australian dollar, now we had a great move up, and we've been having a great move up for quite some time, and if we use our Fibonacci retracement tool from this swing low to the swing high, ultimately a drive into this area here, potentially rejecting the 78.6 on the fib, would be a great retracement with this 12-hour 50 potentially coming up. So Canadian dollar, we did have a very bearish week last week. What we could look for is a retracement back into this area here, with this 4-hour 50 meeting to go short. But ultimately, I think as it looks like we're just having continuous lower lows, lower highs, I think we're just gonna see this play out until it reverses its trend down at this area here. Right, moving on to the Swiss franc. I think where we are on the weekly time frame, these are ultimately all-time highs. So anything past this area would be price discovery. I think we're having some sort of a challenge breaking out of this area. Based off of this structure here, it's quite choppy because we were making lows, highs, lower highs, higher highs, and then we broke this structure here to create a low, so a lower low, and now we could potentially be creating a lower high to have another move down. If we do, then this would also look like a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, for a market reversal pattern. So we need to be quite cautious if we're looking to be taking any positions on the Swiss franc, which at this moment I'm probably not. If I wanted to go long here, a break above this high, EMA wrapping round to take it long from there. If we wanted to go short, if we had that left head, right shoulder scenario play out, a break below here, coming up to potentially retest this 4-hour 200 to then take it short is what we would look for there. So NZD war kind of in a consolidating area, so we're just ranging at the moment, nothing too crazy going on. We are somewhat rejecting this 8-hour 50 EMA. This is a new candlestick. The time is, if you can see it down here, it's almost midnight. Market opened at 10 o'clock GMT. Coming into this 8-hour 50, we do reject it, as you can see in the past. So once we do come into this 8-hour 50, more times than not, we do reject it. If we wanted to be quite conservative with what we're looking to take and do, a break above this high here, up here, EMA wrapping round to take it long. That is obviously, that would give us the best probability of longs playing out with the New Zealand dollar. Main thing which I'd like to be looking for this week is US dollar shorts. So again, a break, as we're rejecting this 4-hour 50 here, a break below this area, so a strong 4-hour close below this area here. And I think Euro USD, this was a trade that we were in last week, we got taken out of break even. If we do have that break, I think we could see an entry potentially like this, protecting these lows and targeting potentially these highs. Yeah, so something along these lines to take it long. Could even protect this low here, the wick down. Just depends how conservative we want to be. Potentially even a AUD USD long looks good. So rejection from this 38.2 on the fib, this 4-hour 50 EMA also being rejected at this area of, if we zoom out, we can see we've had previous resistance here, using it as support here. If we scroll along, we land at previous support, resistance, resistance, support, liquidity. If we get some good rejections from this area, a break above here, yeah, so something along these lines would be good to see. We're still in this oil position, it's just consolidating at the moment, so yeah, we're just sitting on our hands with this one, seeing how it plays out. Alright, so it's just gone midnight. If you remember from last week what we was talking about with Bitcoin, we had the rejection twice of this weekly 200 EMA from this area of resistance, which is now being used as support. So I think from here, potentially another little wick down into this area, so 3 wicks in, and I think we could see our first green week, potentially having a move up into the 75,000 region. But yeah, other than that, we'll see how this week goes. But yeah guys, this has been our market breakdown for this week and what we're looking for. Any questions, please drop them down below. If you want to see if we enter any of these positions and what our weekly outcome looks like, be sure to subscribe. I'll be dropping further videos throughout the week, so you'll be able to see if we do or do not take any of these positions and how they actually play out. I hope this helps going into the week. I hope everyone has a good one, and until next time.